For Best Music Coach, my name is Dan, and you are watching a music teacher's reaction live in real time to Ace Combat 7 Skies Unknown Part 4. I've never heard this music before, I've never played this game before, so everything I say, do, talk about, no preparation. It's going to be off the top of my head in the moment. With that being said, let's jump straight into it with LRSSG Briefing III. Hey chat, how you doing? Oh. 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 We get that piano coming back in. That was sick. Oh. So what we heard there, underlying, was a chord progression we've actually heard before, but the presentation of it was really, really interesting. I think that's either a reharmonization, just the way it was presented was something new we've not heard before. Let's check out this next one, which is called Lighthouse. I think that what we heard was that we talked about it. It was like the it was that Marvel thing. We talked about it as being the Captain America thing. That movement from like a C to an A, essentially going up by a major sixth and then playing a major chord instead of a minor chord. Okay, let's keep this thing going with Lighthouse. But there was also like that James Bondy thing too. This one is called, yes, Lighthouse. Listen to how there's strings in the back. It's like so much movement, so much excitement. Oh. So listen the whole time. The bass is doing very simple things. All the action's happening in the higher instruments. Don't. Oh. Oh, building up, building up. Huh. Okay, so actually a pretty cool chord progression here I do want to break down and talk about. Okay, so obviously a lot going on in this piece of music, but something really interesting that I want to point out is this chord progression thing that was happening of... like, oh my gosh, so fast. Okay, so typically, and again, this being very, very basic, I'm being very, but like a lot of times you'd hear two either, or if you want to bend the rules a little bit, but to do this, to go, oh, so fascinating. What just an absolutely fascinating way of structuring that. And then we actually heard it again in a different key. And so basically what it is, it's sort of like thinking we're doing a flat 6, flat 7 in a minor key, but we're not. It's almost like we're doing a 4, 5, 1. Well, it is like we're doing a 4, 5, 1. So it's like we're doing 4, 5, 1, and then we're going to essentially 5 of 5, but that 5 of 5, instead of turning us back to 5, turns us around back to the 4. Super fascinating. All right, let's keep this rocking and rolling with Well, I don't think you guys really want to listen to Daredevil, right? Type a 1 in the chat if we should skip Daredevil and just listen to the rest of this. I mean, we're in part 4. We could save some time. Yeah, maybe. I just don't know if it's going to be worth your time to listen to it. I don't know. Crickets. Let's do this thing. It's like all these chords are in like second inversion. The fifth is in the bass. Ooh, bass slide hit. We've heard that a couple times before in the soundtrack. E flat. Really in G minor here. It's like 1 flat 6. C minor 4. To B flat, first inversion. E flat. F. Back to G. Interesting. Okay. So we're basically in 4/4 here. There's a thing on my screen. Sus 7, back to 1. There we go. So what the strings are doing here, it's like so much energy. That's the descending scale. We've heard snippets of it before. Well, descending gesture, really. But now it's changed. It's different than the last time we heard it. So much drama. Oh! 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 Oh my goodness! Huh. Huh. Okay. All right. So, besides the fact that who said that? As Asa Thomas said, it's super musically complex, but it's a crowd pleaser. I agree 100%. Now, something that I want to talk about in terms of the music theory here that is actually really, really fascinating is, okay, so basically this whole song is in G minor, essentially. Something like that. Okay, now it gets really cool. And the reason why I shouted towards the end was because this started happening. Notes that are not from all the chords. So all the chords we used up to this. So chord, it's like when you take, so this is a note, right? 2 notes at the same time or 3 notes at the same time, that makes a chord. Now, all the chords we were hearing to up to there were pulling from a matrix of pretty much 7 notes. So there were only 7 notes that we heard for like 4 minutes of this whole song. There's only 7 sounds. Everything you heard was basically the product of 7 different notes. And then what happened is right around the like 1 minute left mark, the composer brought in 2 notes that we had not heard the entire time. And those notes were E natural and F sharp. And so what happened was over the B flat chord, a note that is not always associated, well, a note that is not from the chord, oh my goodness. Doing that movement there was so cool. And what made it really stand out was the fact that it was only 7 notes for like 3/4 of the way through, and then those 2 extra notes in at the end. The reason why I jumped and shouted with surprise and delight was the masterful way those extra notes were sort of plugged in and used. Absolutely delicious. All right, this next one is called LRSSG Debriefing II. Oh, fascinating. Okay, so again, it's a second time in this 4th section. We've heard this reharmonization of what could be a James Bond theme thing happening here. Oh, but a total reharmonization. Reharmonization means pulling different notes and creating new chords with the same sort of melody in front of it. Okay, so pretty fascinating there. Again, interesting that we have. Well, what we're seeing from the composer here is stepping outside of like typical chord progressions, which is great because, well, if everything was a typical chord progression, well, everything would sound exactly the same. But so here, basically in the key of E flat minor, and sure, we have times where the composer is giving us that sort of typical down the middle thing of the flat 6, flat 7, 1. But what's also really cool is when the composer takes it to 2, and not just 2, but 2 minor. And the reason why that's interesting is because typically when you take all the notes from an E flat natural minor scale degree 2, the quality of it would be half diminished or diminished if you're talking about the triad. But instead of diminished, actually, so like we talked about those 7 notes in the last piece, the composer, instead of just having 7 notes, is pulling in extra notes to create new colors. And that's what's really cool here. Okay, this next one is called Admiral Andersen. Admiral Andersen. Mr. Andersen. So this is like a remix of Lighthouse or Daredevil. I can't remember which one. Oh yeah, come on now. This one is called the LRSSG Briefing. Okay, something I want to point out there is that that's basically the same exact chord progression we heard a couple songs ago. Sorry. And then back to 1. So, yeah, really cool. By the way, I've not seen the new Top Gun movie, so try not to spoil it for me because I will watch it. I do love Top Gun movies. All right, this next one, well, movie. I haven't seen the second one. Anyway, LRSSG Briefing IV. I have yet to be disappointed by a Tom Cruise movie. There may or may not be planes, say Space Cowboy. So this is actually, oh cool, oh sweet, all right. This is actually similar chord progression, or actually the same chord progression as we heard from Admiral. So I'm assuming if Admiral Andersen is a person, Admiral Andersen is giving this briefing. This one is called Determination. Stay determined. Wow, I tell you, man, if any of you are into writing your own music and you want to like surprise someone, go check out this track. 'Cause this is a great way to make someone feel like, oh yeah, it's going to be one thing, and then absolutely hit them with a completely another. And then at the end, it was like a little dessert or a bonus round. We got a little extra awesomeness. This next one is called Dark Blue Intro. This is from like Omori or something. This is crazy. It's like the haunted aircraft carrier or something. Odd melody. What an interesting thing. A little creepy. Let's just keep it going. This next one is called Hush. Beautiful singing. Oh, this is amazing. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Huh. This is the same as what we heard for the Admiral song, the briefing, now changing slightly. Yes, electronic and orchestra coming together. Great point. IK Catcher. It's modulation of the strings here. Oh, now key change. Huh. Yeah, just modulating keys over and over again. Which means the composer's changing out which group of 7 notes they're using. That's what gets that change of sound there. Huh. That singer, I mean, is killing it. Beautiful tone. Pitch perfect. On the money. All right, so this song was really interesting. I should say this piece. Song, by the way, difference between a piece and a song. A piece of music typically does not have lyrics or words associated. Like Mary Had a Little Lamb, Little Lamb, Little Lamb. That would be like a song. Whereas, oh, I don't know. Down, boom, bang, boom, bang, boom, bang, boom, bang, shang, boom, bang, boom, bang, doggy, ba. There we go, found it. But the point is that the difference there is one has words that's typically associated. One did not have words until Tenacious D came along. So the point here is the piece. The piece was really interesting because we had like 4 different sections. And then also what was happening a lot was called modulation. Now, what modulation is, like we talked about earlier in the stream, when composers use sets of 7 notes, they get a particular sound. And then what happens is they bring in new notes from that set of 7, new sounds happen. And what a modulation is when a composer takes 7 and then throws away those 7 and brings in a whole brand new 7 set of notes. And that's what you hear, like, I don't know. And I will always love you. And I will always love you. And whatever it is. Okay, the point is, you hear how those 2, it was the same song. I was singing the same words. It was like the same pattern, but they sounded completely different. That's because what I was doing, I was taking the group of 7 notes, using them one time, throwing those group of 7, getting a brand new group of 7. Sometimes there's some overlap, but the point is it's a brand new set of 7 notes, and that's what makes that sound change. And the fancy music term for that is called modulation. Okay, this next one is called Space Elevator. Living it up while I'm going down. Oh yeah. Now we've not heard this motif in a minute. Here's the motif that, yeah, it does indeed sound Stranger Things. We've not heard this motif, I don't think, since like maybe disc 2? I can't remember hearing it in disc 3. I certainly haven't heard it thus far. I don't think in disc 4. But you never know, composers are always sneakily hiding things in all sorts of places. We also, I believe we heard that. I'll break it down after. We're no longer in the 80s, we're in the 2000s now, with the synths. Give me some of that Phil Collins energy, let's go. So listen to the way, even when there's just one single note, the way it's emphasized and de-emphasized is what makes it interesting. Bang. Bang. Yes, Bex, this is very slick. Even the rhythmic displacement, well, not displacements, but yeah, rhythmic displacement. It's like the kick kept on getting displaced by like a 16th note every time that figure came around. That was really sick. Okay, one thing I want to break down, past this what I was talking about in there, was that the bass was holding down that E. And we had that type of thing going on above it with the strings, and I absolutely love that. Well, I don't think it was quite power chords moving up, but the point is, it was like the bass was just hanging on this E. What a heavy, heavy riff. So in this case, we have the bass hanging on an E, and then the top thing is going E, an octave up, F, flat 2, flat 7, back to 1. But because that lowest note is on an E, and low notes are always the most powerful in terms of how our minds, our brains, perceive sound. Our brains always perceive the lowest sound as being the most powerful and the most important. Our brains perceive the lowest sound as giving context to all the other sounds. So it's interesting to hear the bass holding that E, and then the top notes alternating between other notes over that E, but that E gives context to everything that's happening above it. Okay, this next one is called Hush Alternate Version. Let's check it out. even when an instrument is playing one note, listen to how it's emphasized and de-emphasized to keep it interesting. Listen to that bass note. I mean, the bass note's changing. Listen to how it's emphasized, wow, how it's modulated, phased. Oh, interesting things going on in the background there. Huh. A interesting different take on Hush. I think I really did like that that string just there. Wow. That was awesome. This next one is called Dark Blue. Ooh. This is much more gentle than I thought it would be. Okay, now we have trumpet bugle type thing. Ah, and here we have the same chord progression we had in the Admiral. We had in the Admiral Briefing. Oh, that we might have also heard in Dark Blue intro? Where else did we hear it? Another song, can't remember which. Ah, so cool. Hey, while we're here, I feel like you guys would appreciate this. A couple months ago, I got to see both the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds, and wow, that was incredible. What a display of just aerial precision. I mean, amazing, amazing, amazing. So cool. For those of you who are not from the States or don't know, the Blue Angels are the Air Force. It's, I think, 5 or 7 pilots from the Air Force who do like stunts and things like that. And they travel around the country putting on shows for air shows. And then the Thunderbirds are the pilots, I believe, for the Navy. Absolutely incredible. Blue Angels are Navy. Excuse me. I apologize. That's my fault. Blue Angels are Navy. Anywho, they were really cool. Even though, and excuse me, I apologize for getting my branches wrong. Love. Yeah, I'm sorry. This next one is called Epilogue. Let's check it out. What an interesting piece of music. I don't think we've heard anything like this so far, the soundtrack. Oh, beautiful. So yeah, no percussion here. Just strings, guitar. Oh, beautiful. Oh, beautiful. It's funny because it's almost like a very, it's a very old wave, like, melody. Old-fashioned. Makes you think of, like, the 50s. Also, you hear how the time's not consistent. The time kind of... Oh, there you go. And now bringing in sharp 4s here. Right at the end. There's something about this composer bringing in little surprises right at the end that I'm 100% loving. Oh, we hadn't heard a sharp 4 that whole way through. And a sharp 4 that would be an 8th note. So we had 7 notes pretty much. Well, we did have 8th notes the whole way through. There was like a 9th note being brought in. That was like a little special, a little extra flavor, a little unexpected garnish on a dish. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. It's like kind of an old-fashioned melody. Oh, yes, the time. The time. You hear it sounds like kind of like the ocean, like... Sort of like the ocean. When music breathes like that, oftentimes that's called rubato, or without time, you know, kind of like starting, stopping, starting, stopping. This next one is called pensées, which is the French word for thoughts. So we're going to check out thoughts. On va écouter les pensées. Allez, on y va.
Tu te souviens de nos fleurs préférées qui chantaient tout près de nous du jour de ta déclaration d'amour, les mains pleines de pensées, plus même dans ton dos pleura et plus tu as pleuré dans mes bras. Et un moment de silence, puis pouffez-nous tous les deux.
Just us two.
Je n'ai
will never forget. I have enough gun. What made us smile? I couldn't understand what she was saying. Beautiful. Huh. Yeah, very sort of 40s with those half-step approaches to the melody notes. Or those little, yeah, little half-step variation things there. Yeah, I know Faith, she's going fast and it's not clear what she's saying the whole time. That. Now I've decided to leave somewhere. I love it. I love it. So you know how loud the strings are compared to the voice? That's not terribly common. Huh. Huh. All right, two things. Number one, at the end where it goes bop, that's called a button, where you put a button at the end. What was the other thing I wanted to say? Oh, goodness. I'll remember it. But, okay. For the ending music, and the song had been sung a long time at some bistro at a low-lying part of a city. Keiki Kobayashi on the composition. Yes, it feels old. Exactly. It's like it sounds like it's been around since the 40s. Thank you very much for providing that calamitous enigma. Oh, yes, the thing I want to point out was, did you know that when classical singers go to school for voice, they don't just learn to sing in English, they also learn to sing in French, in German, and in Italian, because a lot of the operas, the arias, the things that are sung in classical music are actually more often, well, back in the day, they were all in either French, German, or Italian, very rarely in English, now in English. But a lot of classical singers can kind of make their way around singing in multiple languages, and they have the training to do that, and they understand the different vowel sounds and consonant sounds of the different languages. This next one is called Mission Failed. Sounds like a failed mission, but try it again. Continue. This is called Multiplayer Hangar. Can you imagine if there was a coin slot on the side of your Xbox? Every time you wanted to keep playing, like, go get a quarter out. All right, I'm gonna drop some info in the chat so I don't speak over the music. Not too much going on, we're just chilling now. Excellent. So not too much going on there, but in terms of like chill music for other things to happen or a menu music, that's awesome. It was multiplayer mode lobby. I have a feeling we may get another couple minutes of chillin'. All right, we're gonna vote. All right, guys, we are gonna jump to Roca Roja as based on our 80-20 poll. All right, here we go, Roca Roja. Oh, please drop it this time around. Come on now. It's like a Dimebag Daryl type sound in the right ear. Pantera. Thrashy. I was like, you have like the thrash, and then these horns that kind of soften the thrash a little bit, and then of course the drums are not going all out thrashy. Drums are more like rock, pop. And this section, of course, here is more sort of poppy. Yes, if you guys want to hear what inspired that, go listen to like Cowboys from Hell by Pantera, and you will hear that sound. Yeah, hear that sound. That guitar sound, that's very Pantera. And if you listen to Terraria and you hear the Plantera, you'll hear a very similar guitar sound, and it's for that reason. It's because Pantera, the band, Dimebag Daryl being the guitar player there, really pioneered that sound. Yeah, this next one is called, oh, we got a couple. I'm just going to announce the next three, and we'll listen straight through them. We have multiplayer mode Victory, multiplayer mode Defeat, and multiplayer mode MVP. These are all going to be pretty quick, if I can talk. Oh yeah, groove it. JM, you don't know what you said yes to. Good hard rock. All right, tell you what, we're gonna listen to, we're gonna check out VR Mission Select. We'll see what happens. But if it's the same thing, if it's like the menu music, or it's kind of like the same thing over and over again, we will, we may skip along. All right, type a 2 in the chat if this evolves or goes somewhere. Type a 1 in the chat if it does not. No, just we'll give you one. Type a 2 if this doesn't go anywhere. See, that was too complicated. I forgot even which number was which. Was 2 it does something or 2 it doesn't do something? I made it too complicated. Say it's the same. All right. Yeah, 2 doesn't lead anywhere. All right, how about this next one? Type a 3 if this one doesn't lead anywhere. All right, this one doesn't go anywhere. All right, so let's listen to it for a second. Let's appreciate it, and then we'll move on. So, okay, what's interesting here? Yeah, it is looping tracks. Exactly, Machine Gun. And you can hear underlying it is this minor 1, flat 6, flat 7, 1 is happening underneath it in those higher instruments. All right, let's check out VR Hangar. Ah, feels like a build of what we just heard. So I'm assuming that, yes, you would hear both as you progress towards like VR or multiplayer or whatever it is. It's actually interesting to hear that build up there. Yeah, musical wallpaper, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, just a different purpose. Says Dichotomous Prime. That's a great name, by the way. Yeah, like, if this was mixed in a different way, and had, like, a more powerful kick, maybe 4 on the floor kick, this would be a really great dance track. You'd have to mix it a little differently. But, like, there's a lot going on here. And still that chord progression of 1 flat, 6 flat, 7, 1 in the minor key. Actually, no, there's more going on than that. Excuse me. All right, let's check out VR Mobius 1. That was cool. So this one is called Scramble, arranged from Ace Combat 4 Sitting Duck. Alright, so kind of like Takeoff. Your call sign is Mobius 1. There will not be a Mobius 2. Morbius. Yeah, it was close. Just missing that R. Love those flutes and those piccolos. Whoa, Major. All it's in that rhythm. So much going on. So much going. There's so much going on that just those flute and piccolo gestures are like so quiet. Huh. turns out that question was actually the real chosen one to bring balance to the Force. This was it was really cool. It was really interesting. I love to hear how you can still hear the same sort of spirit from the whole track. Yet I'm assuming this is DLC or this is something extra. But very, very interesting to hear this. Well, yeah, this continuation on of some of these ideas, and again, so busy, so chock full of stuff going on that yeah, a lot of stuff going on. For any of you out there who are starting to produce and stuff like that, if you want to try and mix, there's a reason why the mix was this way, where the elements are so quiet. It's because when you have that many things going on, it's just like, trying to herd cats that are also asking you math questions at the same time. It's like there's just so much going on. This next one is called Gator Panic, as in alligator. Gator Panic. Bex, that's a great question. I'm counting a group of 6 and a group of 7, but I'm not sure if that's right. I mean, I know it's right that I'm counting it 6 and 7. I'm not sure if that's the right way of slicing the pie. Maybe it's like a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 type thing. Hemiola. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Huh. 2 3 1 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1 2. It's like, what? No clue. No idea. I'm stumped. I've never heard anything like this before. Huh, this is sick. I'm just gonna stop talking and listen. Isn't that like marimba in there? Gator Panic, arranged from Ace Combat 4 Tango line, blows music teacher's mind straight out of the water and into the sky. That was insane. That was nuts. Look, I was just talking to one of my dear friends, Cédric Henriot, who's a phenomenal composer, sound designer, piano player, incredible guy. I was talking to him the other day, and I was paying him a compliment about his music, and I was like, man, you know, a lot of times when music gets very mathy, very complex, it can sort of become very cerebral and not have a lot of soul. And I was telling him, you know, even though your music gets really rhythmically complex sometimes, like it has a soul. And I think it's a testimony to the work that a musician has put into understanding music, that they master complex tools to such a high degree that then they really truly express themselves through those tools in such a way that's so seamless that they maintain their voice and their identity even through the complexity. And I think that's what we just heard here. It was complex. Perhaps it was so simple that I'm missing the point. But I mean, wow, just having the composer keep their voice, keep their soul. And again, if anyone's gonna ask me a question, what do I mean by soul? It's like feeling. It's like, what do you as the listener feel from it? Does it feel like, when you're talking to someone and like you can tell that they're not being honest, you can tell they're trying to sell you something, or you can tell they're trying to hide something from you, right? It's like that same thing where your brain's doing these like extra calculations in the background to figure things out, to let your conscious mind know. I mean, wow. Phenomenal. Yeah. Really good. Really, really, really good. Loved it. This one is called SENTRY's BRUNT. This is 7. Oh, love this build. That glockenspiel in there now. Fascinating. Interesting timbre it has in there. String is coming in. Huh. Okay, so another really, really fascinating piece that, again, took us through quite a journey of starting in one place, going to a completely different place, and then coming back. And this is part of really the only thing that really makes this possible is, well, sort of modern technology, because you go back and you listen to even sort of like the Sgt. Pepper's and the Brick in the Wall type of albums that were super, super, super groundbreaking. Imagine what those guys would have done, man, if they had like modern computers that could shift around and jump around in this way. I absolutely love this. This was fantastic. Let's listen to a couple more. This next one is called VR Victory. Oh, that was fun. This one is called VR Debriefing. We're going to check it out. If it's samey, we'll skip it. All right, type a 2 in the chat if this VR debriefing stays samey. Let's check out VR ending. I guess perhaps what we could do here. Let's break down the theory. Let's just go back and listen to that part right there. Okay, so basically the chord progression is going 1, for a minor key, 1, 3, flat 6, flat 7, back to 1. Okay, this next one is called a VR ending. Break it down now. What? What? I'm currently looking for a hype man to just go, what, behind everything I say. Same chord progression. All right. This next one is called VR Mission Failed. This is going to be our last one for today. Let's check it out. The sound of failure is how we shall end for today. Hopefully, you will not experience failure in your life going forward from today. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, thank you all so much for watching and hanging out and checking out this one. Please do hit like, subscribe, crush that notification bell because we still have 2 more parts we are going to do in the coming days. So make sure you are getting notifications so you know when it's happening so you can come hang out. Crush that notification bell. Let's read some super chats, shall we? Thank you all so much for hanging out so far. It was really cool. TMAC1313. Member for 2 months. Best supporters ever. At the very beginning of the stream, I said, when I say hey, You say psycho-neuroendocrinological, and T-Mac said the word I just said, which I'm not going to try to say again. JAD21 says, hey Dan, love your stuff. Please dedicate the super chat to upvoting Scarlet Nexus. You got it. Komradski says, I ran out of witty comments on recommending Ace Combat Zero for the millionth time. Well, Komradski, thank you very much for your support. Thank you for your super chat. And Brickle, you're a frickle, says, I really appreciate hearing your insight on music. Please put this towards the Cultist Simulator OST. Well, Brickle, you're a frickle. Thank you so much for joining and for hanging out. And thank you for your super chat. TMAC1313. Hey, T-Mac. T-Mac says, last weekend I went to a Final Fantasy orchestra concert. Oh, which one was it? What was the name of the orchestra concert? I'd love to know, because Chris Opperman, who I did a podcast episode with, you can go check that out on the Best Music Podcast, he actually hung out with Nobuo Uematsu and wrote, it was, what was it called? Not Distant Worlds, it was something else. But anyway, yeah, if you want to go check out that conversation on the Best Music Podcast with Dan Spencer, Chris Opperman is an absolutely sick musician, and he has been doing some work for the Final Fantasy world, which is really cool. Super happy for him. Okay, so T-Mac 1313. Says, yeah, New World intimate music from yeah. Then Distant Worlds a few years ago, Numatsu was intended. Yeah. So T-Mac, what you saw was the Chris did I think he did the orchestration on that one, which is really cool. That's so awesome you went to see it. I wonder, was Taylor playing drums? Do you have a brochure of who was playing? Because I know Taylor was Taylor, who also was on the podcast, I saw him playing drums for one of the performances. I'm not sure if he's doing drums for the whole tour. Anyway. Oh, that's so cool. I love these connections. Okay, anyway. So, T-Mac133 says, I bought the Final Fantasy VII Remake OST while I was there. My only CD player is in the car, but now every drive is a treat. With this word's Mother 3. So cool. By the way, if anyone wants to go check that out, it's at the Best Music Podcast, and that's Chris Opperman's episode. You can go check him out. Go show him some love on social media too if you're around there. Bex Lizard says, Happy Halloween, Kefka Laugh, Final Fantasy VI, please. You got it, Bex. Irish Soy Boy. Irish Soy Boy says, hey Dan, I'd really like to see your analysis of the Binding of Isaac soundtrack, but which one? Both the vanilla Ridiculon and modded by Muddeth are fantastic with really great unique tracks. Those sound fun. Now, could someone help me and tell me which Binding of Isaac those songs are on, please, so I can put the upvote to the correct one. Alessandro Coelho, AC in the house, says, hey chat, glad to be back here for another awesome part of Ace Combat. Putting this towards Persona 5 Royale. You got it, Alessandro. Serendipitous, 6 months as Kazoo Club. Thanks for hanging out, Serendipitous. Rubberman202 said, I would request Live Alive, but a certain game company has been targeting Live Alive videos that play their music, so maybe hold off on that. Instead, I'll go back to requesting Cuphead, and it's delicious. Last course, you got it. Cuphead, Rubberman202. Matthew Banky says, Wario L and 4 has a unique... Wario... That was the most epic brain fail I've ever had in my life. Okay, so instead of saying Wario Land, I said Wario L and Okay. Wario Land 4 has a unique OST. Maybe react to that someday. Land 4. This in the game is Wario's greatest achievement, so surely that includes the music. Awesome, Matthew. We'll put it on the list. Thank you. Weirdness unfolds. Over 6 months, stock supporter says I'll send link to Top Gun over in Insta. Super. We'll put that for the DLC or maybe number 6. Pikachu said like to throw an upvote for Persona 5 Real. You got it, Pikachu. The L+4 ratio? Yes. You've heard of N+1. Here's L+4. Ah, okay. Let's see. Let's figure this out. Three Binding of Isaacs. We'll tell you what, Irish Soy Boy. We'll put it towards the first. How does that sound? Yeah, I think so. All right, cool. Thank you all so much for hanging out. I will see y'all next time. Take care. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, crush that notification bell so you know when the next part's going to be coming out. I'll see y'all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.